So hi everyone, thanks for attending this event. We will start this event from now. And my name is Koji Lin from Line Fukuoka. Today I will be the moderator and I'm pleased to introduce our company to you today. And also we have selected some topics based on your response to our survey. So we hope this event can give you some insight into our company. Okay, so this is today's agenda. So first, I will introduce our company, including Line Fukuoka line and some of the points of interest to you. Then, like you can see the point 2 to the A, our colleagues from various departments will introduce their work and what you might be interested in. And our colleagues here today are in charge of our core product, line messengers, client and backend, and our infra, private cloud, and front-end team. So of course, it's just part of a varied product. If you are interested in knowing more about other service departments, please check our official career site. And then we will have a short panel from some colleagues to answer common questions we pick from the survey, including the register form. So we will do like the step 9. And after that, like since we have limited time and many attendees, today we won't have provide the Q&A during the session. But after the session, we will hold a social gathering using Zoom. So we will paste in the Zoom link inside the chat box. And if you want to ask more questions, please join the social gathering part and ask question there. At social gathering, we will share multiple Zoom links later. Yeah. And yeah, that's today's overall the agenda. So please let me go through our company introduction. Like quickly share like what we do and like maybe you want to know. Yeah. So this is the our company's mission, like closing the distance. Line started a messenger app and has become a major player in our daily communication tool. And everyone needs to communicate with each other every day. And our service have support needs. And so now we wish to bring people, information, and service together. That's our mission. And Line Messenger is our core product, which allows everyone to make free call and send message whenever and wherever you want. So you can see this is the screenshot here. So there is like the chat. The left side is like the chat room, like you can send a message, photos, and in the middle one, this is one of the our famous feature called stickers, like the big emoji. So they can help you show your emotion easily. And the right hand side one is our public chat feature, like we call the open chat. You can see there's open chat keyword there. So this open chat feature enables us to communicate with people who share the same interest. So Line is not including like you talk with your close friend, your family. Then also we have the feature that you can connect to the people that you have the same interest to chat in the Line. And this is our current user footprint. We have 176 million MAUs in these top 4 regions, like Japan, Thailand, Taiwan, and Indonesia. And as I said earlier, not only we provide our core messenger service, but we also bring information service together. We have many services in Japan and overseas. Here we list some services we provided, like here, many logo here, like Line Music, and it's a music service, streaming service, and games, and the QR code payment in Japan, like a food delivery service, Line shopping, securities, and so on. So Line is not just the messenger service. We brought our variety of service line up. And to build this service, we have engineered at our branches in Japan, Taiwan, Korea, Thai, Vietnam, and others. So especially in Japan, our main branches are located in Tokyo, Kyoto, and Fukuoka. The branches in Tokyo and Kyoto are the office of Line Corporation, while the Line Fukuoka is a separate entity as a subsidiary of Line Corporation. So let me share the approximate number of engineers. So in Line Corporation, there are around like 2,900 members, and around 900 are working as engineers, technical positions, and around 30% of us are international and from the 32 countries. And meanwhile, the line Fukuoka, they are around like 1,300 members, and around 100 are working as technical jobs, and around 48% are international members from 18 countries. So you can see we already have some quite a few colleagues from overseas. So here I want to show some like support and system, like in this company, like I know many companies like this, like they support many benefit and some support. But so we pick some like from the overseas member they maybe most interested about. So like here, like of course, if you need to work in Japan, you need a visa. So we provide the visa support, and when you need to come to Japan, we have relocation expense and house hunting support in Japan. So except that, we think this is quite interesting systems that we want to share. Like say, we usually get a question also in some casual or meeting. So like say, how about changing the team? So sometimes you may want to change your teams to take on new challenges, and we provide in-house recruitment system, so you can change the team without too much worry. And also we provide like language courses. We think like, especially Japanese, for the overseas member come to Japan, we think that can help you at work and your private life in Japan. And maybe some of you are curious about the work-life balance here. So here we have a flexible labor system called discretionary labor system. So here you can decide your working time by yourself. So, but of course you need to discuss with your manager and colleagues for the meeting time, like the core time, how to work with them, like when you have the meeting. And during today's sessions, our colleagues will also share their like how they spend a day at the panel discussion time. And also right now in here, we have the remote working from home policy. So we already have many engineers work from home, and you just need to come to office when the company requests for some reasons. Like for example, sometimes we may need to hold a workshop, team building, or kick-off meetings. So here we also write in a note here, like say, we have to live in location where you can arrive at the office by the 11 a.m. because usually people core working times maybe around like 11 a.m. Lunchtime after that. So it's good to live like location can arrive here at this time. So others is the holidays. So holidays are similar to other companies. Like we are on a 5-day week. In addition, we have national holidays. Like Japan has many national holidays compared to some countries, regions. So we have 16. Like this year, we have 16 like national holidays and annual paid vacations. And also, you can enjoy a 10-day paid leave called refreshment leave every 5 years. So this extra 10 days every 5 years will be provided by this company. So, and final, I would like to introduce the role level and like how we evaluate the performance. Like most technical position in this company have two level, like I level and M level. So one is we call the individual level here. We have a level ranging from level I1 to I7, from the engineer, senior engineer, principal engineer, and fellow. And some of them will also become the tech lead inside the team. Another one is the M level. This is a management position. So there's M1 to M5, and the scope of manager will vary, but you may lead a single team or like complex and multiple teams. So we, in the right button, you can see there is we call the C review and P review for the evaluation. It means like we have not only manager write your feedback, also your colleague you co-work with will also the feedback to you. So this is, we do twice a year. So you'll receive the feedback from your manager and from your colleagues. And about the career path, we say there's a 3 career paths here. So from the individual contributor, tech lead, and engineer manager. So as an individual, like usually we will be expect develop like our technical skills and contribute to the team and the projects through the design, coding, and review. How about tech lead? So it's like individual contributor, but we contribute the team through the not only this, we also need to take responsibility for the product and the team. And another one is engineering manager. So this role is to manage a team, like usually like 5 to 10 engineers per team. In addition to people management, this role also aims to maximize the output of the entire team. The role requires a strong technical background here. So you need to responsible for supporting and developing a team by mentoring them and like supporting their career paths. So this is the quick introduction about our company.
Nice to meet you all. My name is Vincent, and I'm working on the messaging platform engineering team. So I'm working as a dev on a messaging server. And yeah, I'll take 5 minutes to explain my profile, what our team does in the company, the tech stack we're using, and then I'll go through a few of our project samples, and finally gather a bit of information regarding what profiles we want to hire. I've worked at Line since 2015. Before that, I was working in France as a full stack engineer, and I worked in Japan for a bit less than 5 years before joining Line. When I joined Line, I started working on distributed storages, so on HBase. And 2 years later, I switched a bit to feature development. So I'm now mostly working on feature development and not much storage left. Right, let me move on to a few of the feature I've been working on. So this is in no particular order, but there's a feature called announcement, like you can announce your message on a chat. So this was developed pretty quickly, like in less than 2 months maybe, and it's still being used. There's this other feature named unsend, which has a very good reception. A lot of people enjoyed being able to finally send the message. It was technically quite difficult because the storage were all designed to be immutable, so we had to do a bit of redesign at this point. I also worked on message reaction that has appeared 1.5 years ago, maybe 2 years now. So you can do some long tap on message and react. And I'm also responsible for the markers with feature. And yes, I've also worked on other features that are not messaging related, like privacy policy management, location services, and even social graph. So you can read a bit more about that in my Corp interview that's linked there. So our team is mostly tasked with maintaining the messaging platform. So ensuring we have the best reliability, making sure we stay scalable. Every new feature needs to basically endure the whole traffic. We seldom have new feature development. It's mostly with maintenance and improving the resilience, making sure that we do things right. And we also work a lot integrating with other components. So we have internal gateways and a lot of other internal services that need to access messaging and social graph data. Our team is also responsible for location services. These features are not really related, but yeah, there's a bit of history there. Currently, the location services are mostly used to perform store visit detection, like to be able to serve personalized contents or on-time contents when a user enters or leaves a particular area. We also use this location platform to notify like earthquakes on a given area. And we're also in charge of the home tab. So online, that's the tab that on the leftmost part of the screen, where you have a bit of customization being done there. And with techniques like A/B testing, we try to maximize user engagement on this home tab. So our mission, well, the product is mostly done, and we're not in a phase where we're like redesigning from the scratch. But we have progress to make in terms of reliability, flexibility, and quality. So our mission is to maintain and improve these three components of messaging. And the end goal is to make sure that users' message reach their recipients. So it's all eventually for the users. And it's because the users trust us that we can keep developing and adding new features. So briefly, our tech stack is currently mostly legacy Java 8 to 11 with a lot of blocking infrastructure. And our new projects try to stay non-blocking with more recent versions of Java and other JVM languages. And we use some open source stack. So the top three here, Armeria, Central Dogma, and Decathlon are line outsourced projects that you can find on GitHub. But we also use more well-known open source components like Spring, Micrometer, and so on. A bit of our project samples. So we are currently in the middle of a merger with Yahoo Japan. So we try to integrate with them. That's a lot of, specification work. We also try to improve how message failure is handled and retried. It's not easy, and of course, modernizing our tech stack to stay on top of a game. So what profiles do we want? Well, we basically work mostly exclusively on data and metrics. So we are looking for people who make all decisions based on data, and it's fine to take your time when you have a new feature or a bug fix to do. As long as it's done right, it will save time in the future. And we make an impact on our users, on our users' life. So we try to, be aware of what they need, what they want, and what they are complaining about. Work at Line is a lot of communication. So we are looking for people who like to engage in communication, especially in multilingual environments. And of course, there's a lot of challenge left for you. Okay, that's all for my presentation. It's a bit short, but we only have 5 minutes.
So I'm Bruce Evans, and I work on the Line Platform Development Center too. To put it simply, this is the iPhone and the Android Messenger app. So what Koji Lin showed at the very beginning, that's what Line Platform Development Center 2 does. It's a long name, but just think messaging app. So like the shop team, we are also 10 years old. First release was in June 2011. So I guess that makes us 11 years old. Did my math wrong. Over 2 million lines of code, and that's per OS, so Android and iOS. And most of that has been rewritten into Swift and Kotlin, although there is still some Objective-C and Java in the scary parts, but anything you write new is going to be written in Swift or Kotlin. Basically, our team structure is split into 4 different teams because, as everyone knows, the app's kind of massive. So we have 4 teams. The difference between the dark boxes and the light gray boxes is that the dark boxes have some sub-teams. So first up, I'm going to go over what the Line Communication Platform Engineering team does. And they're made up of the Line Communication Foundation Development and Line Communication Service Development. As you can see, all our teams like these long, complicated names, but the Line Communication Platform Engineering team is just about chat. It's about under the hood and chat features. So under the hood, we have the Foundation Development team, and they take care of all of our data management, data synchronization, network communication, lots of talking with the server team, including Vincent. And they do pretty much all of the syncing that we need to do, which is a lot of work. On the other side, we have the service development, and they take care of all the features in the app. All the different, well, not all the features in the app, all the features in the messaging portion of the app. So all these different chats, all the different chat bubbles that can come up, transit, close, hotel, all those kind of things are done by the communication service development team. Next up, we have the Line Content and Service Platform, which is split into the content platform and the service platform, obviously. And then on the side, we have the multi-device experience platform. If you ask what drives the content and service platform, it's basically thinking beyond the smartphone. We want to connect media, we want to connect services, businesses, other devices, things like that. So specifically, content platform development works on the Home tab, which is on the left here. And on the right, it doesn't work on the chat list, but where there's the blue square and you see a lot of advertisements or AI recommendations about what manga you want to read, that is also taken over by the content platform development team. The service platform development team is similar, but a little different. You might have used mini apps before. Unfortunately, I can't use mini apps because they're all for like companies. I can't say their name because of PR reasons. But mini apps are handled by service platform development, as well as the new minimize browser inside the Line app. You can minimize your website, go back to your chat, and then come back to the website. And then, of course, multi-device experience, as you can probably guess, is about multi-devices. We have tablets, watches, phones, and how to log on to those devices. So recently, we released the easy migration. Basically, you can just scan a QR code and migrate. That was really only released about a week ago. So that was also this team. Then we have mobile experience. They're split into 2 teams, iOS Android experience and developer experience. Mobile experience, by the name you can guess, it's all about the experience. iOS Android experience means they get to play with all the new toys when WWDC and Google I/O come out. So on the left, you have iOS 15's new notification messages, and on the right, you have Google's Assistant. And developer experience, I want to make a cool slide with lots of logos about GitHub and Jenkins and all those other things, but you know, PR can't use everyone's logos on our slides. But developer experience takes care of all of our build pipeline, from automated builds, tests, all the way up to releasing in the app stores. And finally, we have on the very far right side, the Line B2B app team. B2B stands for business to business. They deal with the official accounts and more, not so much the official accounts and contracting portion, but the connecting the users to the official accounts. So if you've ever seen one of these official account screens, unfortunately, almost all of them are in Japanese, so I couldn't find an English screenshot. But we have the special menus at the bottom that can change per official account, and that is taken care of by the B2B app team. Now, like everyone else was saying, we only have 5 minutes each, so I skipped a lot of stuff. Please come and ask questions if you have questions, and I will be happy to answer them.
Okay, hi guys. Thanks for coming to this meetup. Let me start my part. So yeah, are you guys seeing my screen, right? Okay, so yeah, my name is Ikeda, and I'm a section manager of the engineering infrastructure department. I joined this company in 2019, and I switched my career from a backend engineer to a manager on 2020. So I started management after joining this company. Today, I'd like to explain our section in 5 items listed here. So let me first explain one of the biggest issues in our company. So that is so many dev teams, so many cross-cutting concerns. So let me explain what I mean in more detail. Yeah, first of all dev teams have to rely on DevOps tools for their day-to-day operations. I believe most of you guys have already used some DevOps tools. Yeah, however, it's pretty challenging to introduce and manage such tools in individual teams because they have to spare a lot of time for that along with their day-to-day development tasks. So we engineering infrastructure department is here to provide such standard tool for all of them. Okay, let me introduce the 2 biggest products in our section. The first one is Iman, which is the standard monitoring tool for server-side apps. It provides comprehensive monitoring functionalities. And because we need a monitoring system to be capable of ingesting a lot of metrics intensively, we have developed the high-performance metrics storage from scratch. And another one is PMC, which is a standard deploy tool for server-side apps. When it comes to using deploy tool, they always have to take care of a lot of concerns, such as server inventory management, permission management, log management, and rollback strategy. PMC provides features to solve such concerns in a centralized place. Okay, let me quickly share what technology stack we are currently relying on. As you can see, we use JVM languages to build backend web apps with Spring. Also, we use Golang and Rust for the metric storage for performance. Unsurprisingly, we use TypeScript with React.js or Vue.js for our front-end development. Regarding data source, we use some NoSQL solutions such as Kafka, MongoDB, Elasticsearch, Redis, and Cassandra, and so forth, to name a few. Okay, and this slide shows the abstract overview of our organization. So we separate the teams by products, hence the Iman team and the PMC team. The Iman team has the Japan side and a Korean side. On Japan side, we use English. On the Korean side, they are Korean-speaking organization, so we use interpreters when we talk with them. On the other hand, the PMC team has the Japan side and the Vietnam side, and both sides are English-speaking organizations. Okay, then let me quickly mention the culture of our organization. First, we value respecting each other. Anytime we are open to hearing other colleagues' opinions. Second, we encourage each colleagues to have the necessary discretion. So basically, we don't like to limit their potential unnecessarily. And third, we encourage members to learn new things and apply that to their work. So for example, if you need time to learn something new for your job, of course you can do so during business hours. And lastly, we believe a healthy work-life balance is a key to continuously building good products. So we don't push unnecessarily overtime work on you. Okay, lastly, let me quickly share the challenges of our job. As you can guess, we are tackling important issues among many developer teams. Because the number of developer teams is huge, improvement we make can have a huge business impact. Also, because our customers are excellent developers, we are given many opportunities to solve real challenging issues in line development. Okay, that's it for my part. So if interested in our organization, please come to the reception event later. So thank you so much for listening. Okay, that's my part.
So yeah, my name is Chris. Let me speak a little bit about my team VKS and the technology that we use. So yeah, I work at Line's Kyoto office. I work on the Verda private cloud platform K team within the larger IT service center. And as far as my name goes, what there is to remember is that I'm a pickle, not a pickle, or as I would say in Japanese, pikkurus janaku pikkeru desu. And I like emoji. I am originally from New York, so I worked for Google in the New York office for a few years. I came to Japan teaching English originally, and then I thought I liked working abroad, so I went to Google's Munich office. But ultimately, I decided that what I really liked was being in Japan, and so I came back to Japan, and I've been at Line Kyoto for 3 years now. Within Line, I work on the VKS team, which is Verda, the private cloud infrastructure at the company, and Kubernetes. The Verda Kubernetes service is my team. So to introduce my team briefly, we are currently 8 members. The largest number is from Japan, but still a minority. There's 6 countries represented. But within our team, it's all English. We communicate only in English. Within the larger Verda department, there's 3 languages, English, Japanese, and Korean, and different teams use different languages as their main internal communication language, but all of the documentation within the department is written in English. And if there's reason to have a meeting between teams, we have 2- or 3-way interpretation. And then for what we do on the team, we take a bunch of open source components and we work to integrate them with Line. So for things like the Imon that Ryotaro introduced, we want to make sure that monitoring within Kubernetes clusters feeds into the Imon system correctly, that it works with our storage systems. So yeah, good integration with the other things at Line. So here's a brief selection of some of the things that we might use from day to day. All of these are open source, so you could use them yourself. Docker is something that, sometimes your coworker builds something and it doesn't work for you. Your coworker says it works for me, but that really means it works with my OS, my installed software, the versions of that software, my network. And so by putting things in a container, you get consistent, reproducible functionality. Taking a minimal Linux system, which will run on Mac or Windows, which is totally isolated from the host, includes all the dependencies. You can use this command here to run Ubuntu, an Ubuntu shell, even on a Mac. So I was very surprised the first time I used that. Drone is another technology that we use, so that similar to with Docker, your coworker might say, well, the test passed for me, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to pass for you. And Drone is a way to take the container reproducibility of Docker and to use that for continuous integration. And you can use this free online as well for open source projects. The meat of what my team done is Kubernetes, because when you have containers, you've got everything working independently. But if you've got a microservice architecture, then you need all of those independent things to work together. And Kubernetes handles orchestration, configuring, and making sure that all of that works, all of your containers work together and cooperate. So you write configurations that describe how your system should look, rather than running a bunch of commands. You use containers instead of machines, and clusters instead of data centers. And there's a bunch of ways to use it. If you just want to try it out, there's Minikube, which will run locally on a machine. Also, all of the major public cloud providers have a Kubernetes offering. But we run a private cloud. So in order to build Kubernetes clusters for every development team at Line, what we would do is we would use Rancher to build these Kubernetes clusters, provisioning machines, VMs, using OpenStack. And once you've got all of that running, you want to make sure it stays running. And so Prometheus is what we do for that. Because we work within the Kubernetes ecosystem, we write a lot of Golang code. And most of the things that we work on are originally Golang. And so all of our original development pretty much is as well. And so these are sort of my recommendations. I think everyone should use Docker, try it out. Drone Kubernetes and Go are also great. Prometheus, depending on what your needs are, it might make sense. Unless you're developing your own private cloud, though, probably Rancher and OpenStack aren't for you, even though they're, of course, essential for us. So yeah, that's a quick introduction of my team and what we do.
Hello, everyone. So I'm Freddie from Fukuoka Android team. So this is my agenda today. So first, I will introduce myself briefly and also introduce our team structure and explain what our team doing, and also introduce our tech stack, and also share our challenge in the Android team. Okay, so about me, so my name is Freddie. So now I'm the engineer manager in the Department 1 in J team. So I came to Japan in 2016 and joined Line Fukuoka, and I was transferred to Line Kyoto in 2018. And also then I moved to Tokyo to join another, left Line, join another company in 2019. So in the meantime, my first child was born. So I think living in Tokyo maybe is not suitable for me. So I moved back to Fukuoka in 2021. And also, so about our team structure in Fukuoka. Actually, in Fukuoka we have the developer department. So we belong to the Department 1. So in Department we have 5 teams, and we have the C, H, and J team belong to the client team. So I'm the manager of J team. So in our client team, we basically in charge of the features in Line Messenger. Okay, so what's our team doing? So first, I think one of our main task is what we call a stick shop. So now we have for iOS and Android, we have 7 engineers on iOS side, and also 6 engineers on Android side. So for the stick shop, actually, it's not like the shop. It also covers some of the feature like the sending, receiving stick-on, or you can say the emoji, and also the theme. And so another feature we are working on is the wallet tab. I think this is one of the tab in the Line Messenger. So this tab includes some financial features you can use in Line. So we have 2 iOS engineer and 2 Android engineer working on this feature. And also we also working on another application we call Line Sticker Maker. So in this application, you can create your stickers easily and sell your stickers on the Line Creator Market. So now we have 2 iOS engineer and also 3 Android engineer. And also for our tech stack. So basically, our main language is Kotlin, but we still need to maintain some Java core. But for any new feature, we will use Kotlin. And also, we are also using some open source frameworks like the Kotlin coroutines, XJava. And also, we are also using the Thrift to communicate with the server. And we also use the Glide and APNG library, which is created by Line. We are also using a lot of the JPEG libraries from Google, especially we are also using the JPEG Compose in the Line Stick Maker. And also for in the Line Stick Maker, we also use the open source database library called Reiten. Okay, so for our challenge in Android team, so I think the most difficult is we need because Line has been for 10 years, so we need to fight with the legacy code. So now we are working on the modularization for our functions, and also refine architecture, and also we are trying to utilize the new OS feature into our module, and also for the Line Stick Maker, I think the biggest challenge is we are trying to migrate the JPEG Compose. I think that's quite the design concept is quite different than what we are using, the UI framework we are using. And also we are trying to redesign the image editor in the Line Stick Maker. Thank you very much.
Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing fine. I'm working in Line Fukuoka as a front-end engineer, and I'm going to talk about myself a little bit, about our team structure, what I specifically do in Line Fukuoka. And we're going to talk about some challenges and interesting points, and then some common questions and answers at the end. My name is John. I come from Norway, and I studied computer science back in Norway. Took an exchange year in the University of Tokyo. After that, I went to a language school for 1.5 years, went back to Norway, worked for about 4 years before I ended up in Line Fukuoka. The city I'm from is very small, around 4,000 people, which is quite a difference from where I live now. It's just Itoshima City. I can't recommend Itoshima City enough. It's a very good place to live. I like playing games. I like playing music. And when I grow up, I want to create a lot of games. Norway is in north of Europe. It's cold in the winter. It's quite a good temperature during the summer. Japan is hot and humid, but luckily we have aircon, so it's all right. So I joined in 2020. It was just before the Corona crisis started. So it didn't take long before I started working from home. And balancing work and life can be a challenge, but I really enjoy working from home because you spend less time commuting, you have more spare time, and it's just a good way of working, and also get a good chair. It's a lifesaver. So my team in particular, and I think most teams in Line Fukuoka as well, can be divided into 3 sections. We have planning, we have developers, and we have quality assurance, which we also call QA. The planners, they are doing business strategies, requesting design, requesting translations, and making sure that people are on the same page when we're developing the product. And developers will take the specifications from the planners, discuss it together, figure out if this takes a long time, maybe we can change something, and then go ahead with development. Quality assurance will make sure that the product is actually working before we put it into production. So my main job in Line Fukuoka is working on Sticker Shop. It's the place where you can buy stickers and emojis and send them with a flagship chat application that we have. And this application is embedded inside Line. There's a smiley face on the Line app, which is called Sticker Shop. And when you open that one, you're actually open a web page. And this web page in particular is written in React, JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. And we use Webpack as the bundler for this application. It's interesting to work in line in general because millions, and I mean millions of people are using it all over the world. You can walk in the street and you see people using the product and you can feel a sense of pride when you see other people using it. And it's also fun to learn every day. I feel like I'm learning something almost every day, which is encouraging. And there's so many different people from all over the world working in line. So there's always something fun to talk about and you'll learn new things about different cultures. So we are also working with legacy code, which can be a challenge in itself. And I think we're 10 developers now working on this same product. So it's difficult to like manage all the pull requests on the GitHub repository. And since there's a web page, it can be some restrictions that makes it difficult to work with a native application. We have different UIs on Android and iOS, and controlling the keyboard is a hassle. So we have to like overcome these challenges in a good way. So do you need to know Japanese to work? No, you don't, but it's a bonus. And when you join Line Fukuoka, you have the opportunity to learn Japanese. You can have up to 3 lessons every week, and each lesson is 1.5 hours. And it's encouraged to get up to speed with Japanese because people outside of work doesn't really speak much English. We're looking for people who are motivated, passionate to learn, and someone who is able to communicate well with others. And you don't need to have a background in programming, but you need to pass a programming test. And you also need to answer questions related to front-end development and JavaScript in an interview. I will be open for questions and answers later today, so please join if you have time. And I'll take, I give it back to you, Koji Lin. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you. So with so many questions here, so sorry, we cannot answer all the questions right now because some of them may be better to reply from the HR. So today we will pick up some little maybe also including in the panel discussion, I mean, some question, but also at final, we will provide a form. So you can ask in there, and if our HR, they maybe send you the result later. So yeah, if we forget, if we didn't reply in the Q&A in Zoom today, please fill in the form. I think our HR will handle that. Yeah, so let me share my screen. So this session, we will work on the panel part. And I think Chris and Vincent and Freddie will help me for this part. So I think they already introduced them today, so we won't introduce again. But let's go through some questions we pick up, and also some question already also in the Q&A session. So in the Q&A part, so I think some we can answer more detail here. So let's go through the first question. So like I think many people think about the work-life balance here, or like meeting frequency, working hours, and also in the QA, people asking about Japanese. So let's go through first, like how you spend a day as a developer, especially that your meeting frequency and like working hours. Maybe Vincent, you can use your tell us about this question. Yeah.
Sure. Thank you. My working hours, but it's usually 9:30 to 6:30. I mean, I have some leeway in deciding when to start and leave. And well, a lot of my time is spent in meetings, but it's part of my job as a team leader, manager, because especially since we starting working all remote, a lot of the communication has to be enforced in meetings. There's a lot less, casual communication. Of course, we try to keep a lot of the communication on chat, but sometimes we need meetings. Yeah, that is for me.
Yeah. How about you, Chris? Maybe similar, but how about you?
Yeah, similar. you're asking how to spend the day as a developer, but of course I'm spending my day also as a manager, so that's including more meetings. But yeah, my usual working hours are 10 to 7 pretty much. Wednesdays, like today, I come in a little bit later because I have a meeting with friends in my home time zone, which of course, time zones are always difficult to manage when you're living very far from your friends and family. But yeah, typical is 10 to 7.
I see. Yeah, especially like part of members from the client side and part from like backend and the infra. I'm curious about like also some in the usual casual interview, someone was asking about this, like say, can you tell us like how often you have the on-call, like especially maybe the Chris, because you provide some infra to the inside the company.
Yeah, so we have on-call rotation. We're responsible for being on call. Well, so at the beginning of this year, we had 5 members on the team. And so being on call 1 week out of 5 was a pretty heavy load. Now, as I said earlier, we're up to 8 members, and that's helping to make things a little bit more manageable. 8 would be once every other month as being on call. Though, as it happens, we rarely get paged out of hours, fortunately. So it's been okay.
I see. Thank you. So how about you, Vincent?
Our team has a weekly rotation to ensure that line messaging stays up. Managers can opt out, but yeah, you learn a lot during these on-call turns. So I think it's not that bad, and we've reached a stage where we don't really need to be awake at nights. So yeah, it's not that bad, to be honest.
I see. Okay, but I think client team doesn't call on call, but I think you also need to do some really immediate hot fix or something like, right, Freddie?
Yes. So actually, I think usually we don't have the critical issue that we need to release the hot fix. But for Android, we for every release we will partially roll out. So basically, we can find some issue that we can we can find in the developer time. So after we confirm there's no serious issues, then we will fully roll out. So I can make sure we won't make big trouble after we have the formal release.
I see. Okay. So I think another one is about like this is spend a day as a developer, also as a manager. And there's one question I also see in the Q&A. People worry about English, like say inside the team, people looks like can speak English. How about you include that other do you using Japanese or something? So or want to ask in like say like what's the main language you use at work, and like do you have to speak Japanese from time to time? Maybe this question, maybe Chris, maybe you can, especially your team have many from nationality, so you can help answer this question.
Yeah, I don't think that there's really been any situation at the company where I need to speak Japanese. My team is all English speaking, and so within the team, there's no need at all to speak Japanese. And then when dealing with the other teams in the department, we've got interpretation. I would, because we have the Japanese, Korean, English 3-way interpretation often, I really need the interpretation for Korean. And if we only had 2-way interpretation, English, Japanese, I might try and speak Japanese a little bit more, but it's with Korean thrown in the mix, I end up just, speaking English, relying on the interpretation, which is good.
I see. Yeah. How about you, Freddie?
So actually, I think our main for developers, our main language is English. Sometimes I cannot say something, but usually we need to communicate with the other department, which can only speak Korean or Japanese. So for this case, we have the interpreter to help us to translate the languages. Yeah, and also for me, because I'm the manager, so sometimes I have the one-on-one with our team member. So I will try to speak the different language because our member from different countries, we have the Korean, we have the Japanese, we have the Chinese. So I will try to speak their native languages, except Korean. I try to speak Japanese and also speak English, also speak Chinese in the one-on-one meeting. I can also practice my Japanese.
I see. Thank you. Yeah, so it depends on the team and the project and the feature. Your communication target depends. Like sometimes more English environment. Sometimes you need to co-working with more non-English speaker. So we have the interpreter, I think. Yeah, but it's not perfect yet. So it's not possible every meeting have the. So we try to make this better and better now. Yeah. So okay, I think this part may be good enough about answer some part of the question. Let me go to the next question we usually have, like work-life balance question. Like are you enjoying your vacation? Like in Japan, like how's the rate of taking paid leave, and is that ease of taking a vacation? So maybe Vincent, you can answer this question.
Yes. So to take a vacation, yeah, if it's more than a few days, you likely need to prepare for it. Make sure that work can proceed without you. But once that's covered, there's really no issue to take a longer vacation. I've piled up vacation during the pandemic, so I will be taking like 6 weeks off this summer. So if you prepare for it, yeah, it's totally possible.
I see. So how about you, Freddie?
So I think I don't have the problem to take the vacation, but in fact, because my son is too young, so actually the taking vacation, I think I will be busier than working. So I will prefer not to take vacation until my son grows up.
Okay, I think you should help your family more. Okay, so we talk about like taking vacation, but like say, do you feel like any like difficult to take, or like how take longer vacation? Like say, is it easy to take a longer vacation in your position now, or like you think like if everything well prepared is possible? Like maybe Chris, you can also help answer this.
So, I mean, similarly, I have not been taking a lot of vacation during the pandemic, but last year I took basically a whole month off. And I didn't really need to do much to prepare for that. I just said, I want to do this, and I took it. Now, that was before I became a manager. So now maybe I would need to plan a little bit more, but at that point, it was really no trouble. I just said, hey, I want to take off a month. And I think I made that plan with about 2 weeks notice, because everything was still changing all the time with that at that stage of the pandemic. Yeah, it was pretty easy.
Cool. Sounds really good. Yeah. So yeah, I think like usually in our company, like if you want to take, you just need to. Usually it's no problem. So if there's a problem, I think manager will help you, like say adjust, like say the resources or the schedule, something like this. So you don't need to worry about that part. Yeah. So let's talk about the also someone asking, I think a little like this about the career in the line, or like say what kind of type maybe we recommend or we think they are enjoy this position. So before that, I think maybe you can express yourself, like why like you think the advantage part. So like say what are the advantage for you, like of working with line or in Japan, like. So about this question, maybe Vincent, can you?
Yes. So Line is my third company in Japan, and I worked in smaller companies, but the scale at Line is just different. First of all, you have users around you, so your daily work will impact their daily life, both in good and bad. So that's a lot of motivation. And also Line is not a traditional Japanese company, so it's really flexible, and the work environment is been great.
I see. Thanks. How about you, Chris?
So Line is a pretty big company in the sense that it needs to that it makes sense for us to be building our own private cloud instead of just using one of the existing public clouds. But it's also small enough that those of us that are working on the private cloud infrastructure have quite a bit of responsibility and ability to actually get stuff done on it. Whereas if you were in a bigger company, then you'd just be one small part of it. I guess especially I like Kyoto being it's a very small office within a large company, and I think that's a good combination.
I see. Oh, thank you. So how about you, Freddie? Like, what do you think?
So I think there should be two parts of working in line and living in Japan. So for me, I think working in line is I think it's not like the traditional Chinese Japanese company. So I rarely overwork during those career period, and also I think also the diversity in life Fukuoka. I think our members come from different countries. We can learn each other easily. And also, I think living in Japan for me, because I love rock and roll and heavy metal. So living in Japan, I think is some bonus, because there are many famous rock band will come to Japan. Yeah, because they usually they don't go to Taiwan. So before I come to Japan, I have to fly to Japan to join the live concert. But now I'm living in Japan, but I still need to fly to Tokyo, but it's much closer than Taiwan. Yeah, so that's the best part for me.
Okay, cool. So, and like the another question, maybe some people asking the question, like, say, what kind of background, or do you expect some kind of already existing skill, or maybe you think like, like what kind of people we think will enjoy this company, like, so feel fun or trying. I think we basically like recommend everyone, like if you have interested, just try and then join to work with us. But any other like any idea about this? Like, do you think maybe some really good point or some point some people maybe enjoy? Yeah, maybe Vincent, you have any idea for this?
Yes, so I've hinted about this in my presentation, but first line is about the scale. So if you're interested in scaling both technically and in terms of organization, you will likely enjoy it. And I would recommend line to people who have strong motivation and ideas how to improve their life, even in a social meaning. And also I would recommend line to people who are good at reading a lot of information, because there's a lot going on, and yeah, it helps if you read fast, understand fast.
I see. Okay, how about you, Freddie?
So I think if you are a client engineer and if you want to working on a large scale app, I think Line is the good choice. Although maybe Line is not the biggest one compared to the Facebook, but it's just I think Line is still big enough for most other companies. Yeah, that's my opinion.
Okay, thank you. So that's all the question we pick up from the original like people when they apply in the form, and some common question that usually asked from overseas members. So do you guys have any other thing you want to summarize? If no, we will go to the next. So everything okay? Sounds okay.
I'll say one more thing.
Okay, please.
Which is my impression is that there are various places you could maybe work in English in Tokyo, but one of the things that brought me to Line was being able to work in English outside of Tokyo. And I think Kyoto is a great place to work, and Fukuoka as well. And so that's one of the unique draws of Line to me. And I definitely recommend Kyoto to everyone.
Okay, today we have the Fukuoka and Tokyo and Kyoto. Yeah. So everyone will say they are from Tokyo or Fukuoka. Yeah.
Yeah, I also live in Kyoto for two years. Yeah, but now I'm living in Fukuoka, so you know.
Okay, I see. Okay, thank you guys. So let me go to the next part, so you can stay later to join the Zoom meeting later. So let me continue to the next slide. So thanks everyone for listening. So as I say, we cannot go over the Q&A session, but today we have the final, we have social gathering part. We will paste the Zoom link inside the chat box, so you can check their part later. And also I will show in this screen later, so you can choose a room, join, and talk with some members. They will happy to answer you. So thank you today. So I think our member will start to join that room, and hope you enjoy today's event. Thank you.